This is what I call eye pollution. I'm gonna wipe it down with the bleach wipe. This bottle design was the result of a disgruntled employee who wanted to sabotage the company right before they left. I feel like I need to wash my hands now. I mean, this is just straight up ugly. There's something about it, I feel like I need to go to church after touching that. Ow. But this bottle is, you know, the result of a very lenient drug policy in the workplace. And I'm quite sure that the person who designed this is now fired. Hey everybody, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. My name is Chris. I wanted to do a fun video today, a video about fragrances where the looks can be deceiving. Sometimes the bottle, sometimes, you know, we're really enticed into buying a perfume. I know I do. When the bottle is just the packaging is spectacular. Many times I get suckered into or swayed into buying a bottle of perfume because the packaging is so good. Now this fragrance video is on the flip side. This is about fragrances that come in many cases, really hideous packaging. And oftentimes people may not even give them a chance because the packaging is just so bad, wonky, and in many cases bordering on felonious. Not all of these are hideous, but at least the concept gave me a chance to speak about some perfumes that I have never spoken about, haven't spoken about in years, or speak about rarely. And with that, before I jump in, I want to quickly say that I got this idea from someone over on Instagram. She's a content creator. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. I'll list it below. But she did something similar with like face creams or cosmetics, and I thought it was really cute. So I did steal her idea and I wanted to give her credit for that. So the first one I'm going to talk about made several of my videos because it is a spectacular perfume for the price. And at the time I made the videos, this perfume was running around $35 to $50 max. Now, I don't know if it's been discontinued because I checked right before this video and the price has started to creep up a bit, whether that's because demand has gone up and supply has gone down from it being discontinued or there's just a limited supply, I don't know. But I saw it widely available on 3 websites, so I'm gonna talk about it because it's still available, and it's a great salty vanilla. And it is called Kenzo World Power. So let's just talk about the packaging right now. This is what I call eye pollution. I mean, this is just straight up ugly, and I can't believe that the marketing department okayed this. I think it's an eyeball. I mean, I think that's what it is. But the pupil is off the center. I mean, it's dangling down like a dangling eyeball. It's just so dang wonky and it's kind of hard to hold. It's not easy to spray. So from a marketing standpoint, I wouldn't have done this, but the fragrance within is very good. Again, I said it was a salty vanilla. Now I don't think vanilla is listed. I think it's tonka salt and an evergreen like cypress. I get vanilla. I mean, I get like a sweet syrupy vanilla in the beginning for sure. Now as it dries down, that tonka note comes out. Tonka, I get a little bit of nuttiness. Sometimes it can be a little bit green, but it's a salty vanilla tonka fragrance. It is so nice, and it has a lovely, like a green woody background, which really anchors it and gives it a lot of freshness. And I think that cypress plays very well with the salt. It gives it a Mediterranean vibe, and it keeps it from being too sweet because this vanilla I smell in here, it's that same vanilla that's in like Black Opium and La Vie Belle. It can be a little bit too much, but the salt is really nice. It pulls it out of that sweet zone, and that green, that evergreeny cypressy makes it this nice beachy Mediterranean, or gives it a nice Mediterranean vibe. So I love it. It is not my favorite salty vanilla. I have two in my collection that have kind of bumped this out of that position. So I don't know how long I will keep it, but I think it's worth talking about because it's a fantastic perfume, particularly for the price. And if it is getting discontinued, I wouldn't pay more than $70 for this. You know, it should be right around $50. So if you're paying more than like $55, $60, you're probably paying too much. And it's being discontinued, but I have loved it, and I think I got mine for like $35. So the next perfume bottle is almost, I'm almost afraid to show it. It's almost straight up felonious, this right here. And I had a couple people comment on a video I did like a year ago because I showed Priscilla, which is in the red bottle, and the messages they sent me, kind of my eyes were as big as saucers, and it made me kind of want to take off the cap and show it like this. But this is a lovely bottle. The bottle is beautiful. The color is beautiful. I do like kind of a rectangle-y, but I'm not exactly sure what they were thinking when they did this. And anyways, we're going to move on because the perfume inside is really, really good. So this is a fragrance that has some notes that I don't always love. I want to say it's got star, anise, and licorice. Licorice can be really hard for me, but it's nice in here because it has a little bit of chocolate. It's very dusty. It's got heliotrope. It's got a little bit of rose. So if you like fragrances like Roses Vanille, Intense Cafe, you would love this. I like this better. In fact, I decluttered Intense Cafe because I have a Gentle Fluidity Gold, and I had this one. Intense Cafe was just a little intense. It had something that was molecular or some aroma chemical that could give me a headache. It's not as smooth. This one is more powdery. It's a little bit smoother. It has this really nice dusting of chocolate. Again, it's got, licorice and some star anise, but I don't know, they just complement the fragrance so well. It's got rose. The rose is very gentle. It's a very gentle rose, and a nice, ambery sweetness in the background. It's very lovely. I would call this a heavy gateway gourmand because it definitely has gourmand elements, but it's not a full-on gourmand. It doesn't smell like something I would actually eat or drink, even though it has lots of gourmand elements and is in a hideous bottle. Let's just put that over there. I'm gonna wipe it down with the bleach wipe. I feel like I need to wash my hands now. There's something about it, I feel like I need to go to church after touching that. Now the next one, many of you might disagree with me when I talk about the bottle design. It's a little bit wonky and a little too out of the box, and it's just not very user friendly. And it is called, in fact, I'm holding this very precariously because I feel like the top is about to fall off because it's very top heavy and it doesn't fit very well. It doesn't have a very good fit. By Ariel Shoshana. I was on the wait list to get this perfume, but this bottle is, the result of a very lenient drug policy in the workplace. I mean, like you really got to be out there to be thinking of a bottle design like that. And you're not thinking about, is it ergonomic and is it user friendly, because it's just not. But see, there you go. It's cute and I like the colors, but literally this bottle oftentimes tips over in my collection because the top is so heavy. And I used to really, really love the perfume when I first got it. However, I made the mistake of wearing it on a hot day, and fragrances that have milky notes and tea notes like mate or matcha on a hot day, oh my Lord, there's no coming back from that because it can induce nausea on the wearers, and that's what happened to me. So I haven't worn it in a long time. I might give it one more try while it's still cold to see if I can keep it in my collection, because this is a tea-based fragrance and it reminds me of bubble tea. So a delicious bubble tea that I used to get in our local mall when the weather was bad. I would take my kids over to the local mall. They had a little carousel on the inside, and it was a great way for my kids to run around and stretch their legs, and I didn't have to be cooped up inside all day. And they had a bubble tea shop right next door, so I'd put my kids on the carousel, I'd pop over and get my little bubble tea, and I would be happy. So lots of tea, lots of milk, lots of cream, sweet, and it also has the note of rice, a pretty prominent rice note in here, giving it a little bit of powderiness. In fact, that's how it got on my radar, because I was collecting fragrances with the note of rice, and if all goes well, I'm gonna film that video next. It'll be my third video of the day, but I plan on doing that. So it has rice in it, so all these notes that I really enjoy. But there's something in here while it starts to dry down. It's a little bit metallic. It comes off metallic, and it's probably those tea notes in the milk. So that's not my favorite part when that burns down. As it gets down to the, the base, the dry down, it's vanillic, it's powdery, it's warm, it's sweet. You can still smell the tea in the background, but it's more like a gourmandy bubble tea without the harshness. So really I would only recommend wearing this in the colder months. I think if you wear it in the warm months, it might choke you out and make you, a little bit ill like it did me. But a kooky bottle, I do love the colors, a kooky bottle and an interesting fragrance on the inside that a lot of you will love. Now the next one is a very cute perfume. It's really, really affordable. And this was sent to me by a lovely friend in the audience. And it's called, I had to double check, Fraise Bonbon, and it's by Tutu Delicier. Now, a lot of you probably wouldn't give these fragrances the time of day because they look a little bit kitschy and they're in these small little bottles that looks a little bit, some might think it looks cheap, and it is plastic on the outside. I will say the one thing I don't like is when you grab it to spray, your fingers kind of dig into the plastic edges, so it's not my favorite. And it wouldn't be good for gentle, delicate little hands, even though I think this is a fantastic fragrance for people who are beginning their fragrance journey or want something light and airy and whimsical and youthful. This is a great one. It has like strawberries and whipped cream in it. A little bit of vanilla. This to me is more like a candied strawberry with whipped cream as opposed to like a real cupcake. I'm not getting that much vanilla, but it's cute enough and it's pleasant enough that I would love to try more in the line. I think there's one called Vanilla Chantilly or Chantilly Vanilla. I would love to try it. Very, very easy on the pocketbook. I want to say these run around $25 and fits nicely in a little backpack or purse. So the next one is a perfume I've had for years and years and years. I've shown this many times and it's made, it's made my videos smell expensive on a budget because nothing, and it's called Mercedes-Benz Club Black. This is marketed for men, but it is definitely unisex. Some people would say it's feminine leaning. Some people will say it's masculine leaning. Nothing in this kind of hokey bottle says I'm special, says the juice smells luxurious, or smells like something that could run $150, $200. But let me tell you, I've said it before, you put this in a Guerlain bottle, it's gonna sell because it smells so good. This is a very, very high quality luxury ambery vanilla with some spices. And when I say spices, I mean a little bit of spicy smokiness. There's a touch of incense, which I think people will interpret as pulling masculine, but I love smokiness as long as it's in the background. I love incensey notes, incense when it comes off smoky. And so I just think it adds a really beautiful warmth to this. I paid around $45. I think it's running around $45, $50, or at least it was about a month ago. Now, sometimes when these start showing up in a bunch of fragrance videos, people start buying it, price goes up because demand goes up. But I think when I last checked, it was running around $45, $50. It's absolutely beautiful. So if you like something like Spiritus du Boulevardier, it's not a dupe, but it reminds me of a little bit of Spiritus du Boulevardier, a little bit of that, a little bit of Casablanca without the fruits. So just a really nice, deep, luxurious ambery vanilla with gorgeous smokiness, and I have a backup bottle. Now the next one isn't a hideous bottle, but it's just a little bit goofy and quirky and not super ergonomic, and it gave me a chance to talk about this perfume that I actually love, but I had no business getting because it smells very similar to other perfumes in my collection. So I'm trying not to have a ton of overlap, but it's called Narcotic Venus. And the reason why I don't like this design is that, again, your cap should never be as big as the bottle of perfume, at least in my opinion. So, and it doesn't fit very well, and it's very top heavy, and it just kind of wobbles around. So I'm not a fan of the design, even though I get what people are going for, but this is just a very, very sleek perfume. It's very, very pretty. It's that white floral fragrance profile that has a banana vibe. And that is a vibe, or that is a profile that I really, really loved last year. I was scooping up all those perfumes that were those banana-esque fragrances that were white florals that had a banana vibe. I love them, don't need them. I have many, many that are similar. So this is similar to several in my collection. I would put it in the category of Moon Carnival. It would be a little bit similar to the original Michael by Michael Kors. It's a little bit similar to the Tuberose by Le Gallion that I love. This is very, very pricey, but it's quite beautiful. So this is a banana white floral that is a little bit soapy. It's soapy and clean, but it's not squeaky clean. It's not screechy, and it's not super green. It just smells like something that like a Barbie would wear. You are put together when you wear this. I mean, everything is put together, but instead of Barbie wearing her day clothes, she takes off her pink dress and she puts on a black dress and a red lip. So this is nighttime Barbie. So this is a beautiful perfume in that scent category. And I swear I spend like 5 minutes every time I touch it. I finally got it on there. Finally, every time I touch this bottle, I spend about 5 minutes getting the cap on and off because I'm not, now it popped back off. Not a fan of the packaging, but the perfume inside is really quite lovely. And it's a huge compliment getter. So this next bottle design is, or the next perfume is in a bottle that is the result of a company forgetting they had a deadline to get the prototype for the bottle. The CEO is coming into town to look at the prototype, and the people on the marketing team are scrambling. They run outside of the building, go next door to, like, you know, your tourist trap that sells kitschy stuff. They go in and they grab a whiskey flask and they say, "Eureka, we're gonna use a whiskey flask for a perfume called Crystallized Sugar." So this perfume is really, really good. And I meant to put it in my full-on gourmand fragrance video that I just did about an hour ago, but it was in my other basket. So I forgot about it, you know, out of sight, out of mind. But this is a full-on gourmand. This is like cotton candy, like a fruit vanilla cotton candy, straight up. I think this is just one note. I think this only contains ethyl maltol, which is that sweet note that's in Baccarat Rouge 540. So if you don't like that note and you don't like cotton candy, you're gonna hate this. But I actually, for fun, wore this to one of my work sites, and the lady who was sitting in the hallway opposite to me, she's like, "Oh, Chris, it smells delicious. It smells like cotton candy. Is that you?" And it was this one right here. So, and ever since I've been back to the same work office, she keeps asking me, "Where do I find that perfume? I've looked everywhere. I can't find it." It is a little bit harder to find, and I don't remember off the top of my head where I bought it. Actually, you know what? I bought it off the website. Actually, I'll try to link it down below where I bought it, but it's on the pricey side. You can get other cotton candy perfumes for less money, but this one smells really good. It's in between, like I said, it's in between a cotton candy, like a vanillic cotton candy, and the top of a creme brulee. And it kind of goes back and forth between those. So when I first spray it, it smells more like cotton candy, and in the dry down, I get more of a vanillic, kind of the top, the crispy top of a creme brulee. So somewhere in there, it's very light, it's very airy, it's very sweet, it's very delicious, it's simple, slightly linear. Again, it kind of bounces between those two profiles, but I really enjoy it. I'm glad I picked it up, and the bottle just does not give this perfume its due justice. Well, maybe it does. It's a simple perfume in a simple bottle. There you go. I just thought of it. So, crystallized sugar. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that my camera battery or my video card had filled up, and I was just talking, and about a third of the video didn't get recorded. So I was talking about Sugarful, this cute, whimsical fragrance that's in this kind of silly little sugar dispenser bottle, but it's a really cute perfume. It's very whimsical. You know, again, the lid isn't very easy, or the cap isn't very easy to take on and off. But, you know, I mean, the fragrance is very nice. It's not groundbreaking, but it's a nice, easy wear. It's an easy wear. It is in between like a cotton candy. This is like a fruity cotton candy, another one of those fruity, vanillic cotton candy, a little bit of a shampoo-y vibe, just a touch, a hair of that going on, but it's very sweet, a touch synthetic, but not too much, and it just works really, really well in the summer. It's really nice. Again, I didn't realize how much I loved it until my daughter wore it, because it has a really, really good dry down. The dry down has this beautiful vanilla with a slight hint of a fruitiness. I would say like a strawberry. Again, it's not gonna blow your mind. It's not groundbreaking, but it's a really good perfume for those of you who like fragrances that have that cotton candy sweetness, or that cotton candy vibe, or a cotton candy backbone. This is really good. And so even though I will be putting it back on my daughter's dresser, I will be enjoying it from time to time. Okay, now this next perfume I have spoken about several times recently because it's made a couple of my really good fragrances that are affordable. However, it is in the most hideous bottle. This bottle design was the result of a disgruntled employee who wanted to sabotage the company right before they left. I mean, there's no other explanation for this thing. And I think if most people saw this at a department store or TJ Maxx or at Shoppers Drug Mart, they would keep walking. They'd walk right by because, I mean, let's be honest, it's an eyesore. It's eye pollution. Ow. But the perfume inside is really, really good. The nose behind this, the perfumer, is Oliver Cresp, and he is the nose behind Light Blue and all of the flankers. So this is basically a flanker of Light Blue. It's just called I Love Love by Moschino. It has a little bit of differences. I would say this is closest to the Light Blue, I'm just making sure that my camera's still on. Light Blue Original, except it's not as musky. That has a lot of muskiness. That has that green apple. This is grapefruit, and it has a really nice sugar cube sweetness, but bright, citrusy, fresh, a little bit musky and sweet. A perfect light and airy, grab and go. I call this like a great white t-shirt perfume. Something I would pick up in the warmer months when, you know, spring or summer, but really, really summer, because this does really, really well in the heat. And apparently at Shoppers Drug Mart, you can get this for $19. And I think in the US, it's under 40. It's anywhere from like $25 to $30. So a really nice perfume in a monstrosity of a bottle. And I'm quite sure that the person who designed this is now fired. And the very last perfume is not in a hideous bottle, but I think it's a great fragrance. And a lot of people might take a look at the bottle and say, nah, not for me. But if you love freshies and you love fig, you might love this perfume. It's called, I think it's called CK1 Gold, and it might be even marketed towards men. Don't let that sway you. This is definitely a unisex fragrance. I get nothing masculine at all about this. It is a fresh, citrusy musk that has a strong fig. In fact, I just sprayed it here. I'm gonna spray it again. I sprayed it because I already talked about it, but the camera battery was off. Yeah, so it's a very musky, a clean, musky, freshy with a prominent fig and some aromatics in the background. I want to say like sage or thyme. They're soft and they are sweet, but they are present. So another really good like white t-shirt. This is very much a summertime perfume in my opinion. I don't really like to wear freshies in the wintertime. If you do, this is great. Oh my gosh, I'm getting this. It smells so good. It smells so, so good. And the fig comes out really more in the dry down. It gets a little bit sweeter in the dry down. So that harsh citrus opening doesn't last very long. If you don't like citruses, get past that. Then it's this nice light fig with a little bit of herbs, like a little bit of aromatics and some beautiful musky sweetness in the dry down. Very light wearing, as all like good white t-shirt fragrances are. I would say around 4 to 5 hours. Although this is light wearing, I get decent performance out of this. It's not fleeting. So I would say moderate performer, good performer for your typical like freshie. I'm gonna call this a freshie, but it's a figgy freshie. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you had as much fun watching it and hanging out with me as I did making it. You know, a lot of times I like to make these light-hearted fragrances. I don't like to be super serious when it comes to perfumes. I mean, I enjoy perfumes, but I hope nobody was too offended by the way I kind of roasted these perfume bottles. But again, it was all in the name of fun. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for watching. Thanks to all who subscribe to me. And if you like my content and you've been popping by and aren't subscribed, I would love it if you would consider subscribing. It is free. You're not going to be on somebody's mailing list or call list. It's free, and it really does help out the creator's channel. YouTube will show that video out more out in the general feed if it gets a lot of support with follows and thumbs ups. So with that, I thank you all again, and I will see you on the next one.